person? Any
I
brave
started with
person can answer this question. Who's the most important person in your life? If nobody answers, I'll place this question to Sunil.
your family.
Yes, family, any particular member of your family?
Yeah, all. I mean, your parents, spouse.
Ourselves,
Yeah.
ourselves.
Okay. I think the most important person in our
Agree.
life is our mother,
Oh,
because we would not have survived even a few hours, not to talk about the 9 months that she carried us, if we were left alone without that motherly influence. If for some reason we did not have a biological mother at birth, someone else took care of us. So our mother is the most important influence in our life. So let us begin by paying salutations to our mother, mentally pay salutations to our mother, followed by our father, because I think till the time we became capable of earning a livelihood in a traditional household, our father took care of us, or that fatherly influence. So let us pay salutations to our father. Thirdly, let us pay salutations to our teachers, because anything and everything that we know is because of our teachers, starting from kindergarten all the way to wherever we are today. And that learning keeps going on. So there is not one single teacher, but all our teachers. We mentally pay salutations to our teachers. And then finally, we pay salutations to Guru. The Guru is not someone who's physical, but that person, that entity that resides within us. So, salutations to Guru. And now we can practice this meditation while sitting on a chair. We can lie down. We can be in any posture. If we want to practice in Siddhasana or Padmasana, we can do that. If you're sitting on a chair, you can place both your feet on the ground, or if you want, you can crisscross your feet, left foot over the right foot over the left foot. Whatever is comfortable for you, you can choose that posture. And the most important thing is comfort level, and try to keep your spine erect if possible. And let us now begin our meditation. So let us start with our feet. Let us tighten the muscles in our feet and quickly relax them, giving an auto suggestion. My feet are relaxed. Let us move on to our calf, both the calves, right and left. Tighten the muscles in the calf, relax them. Let us move on to our knees and thighs. Tighten the muscles in knees and thighs, relax them. Move to the hip and pelvic region. Tighten the muscles in the hip and pelvic region, relax them. Move to the abdomen area and the lower back. Tighten the muscles in the abdomen and lower back, relax them. Move to the upper chest and upper back. Tighten the muscles in that region, relax them. Move to our shoulders, tighten them, relax them. Move to our upper arms, hands, forearms, tighten the muscles, relax them. Move to the head and neck region, tighten the muscles in the neck, place a frown on the forehead, pucker our lips, relax them. The whole body from the head to the toes is relaxed. Let us give ourself an auto suggestion. My whole body from the head to the toes is relaxed. All the circulations in the body, the blood circulation, the lymph circulation, the air circulation, all are in perfect harmony. My body is in homeostasis. Now, let us move to our senses. Let us visualize the sense of sight. Let us relax the sense of sight. Let us move to the sense of smell. Let us relax the sense of smell. Let us move to the sense of hearing. Relax it so that we are only able to hear the directions. Let us move to the sense of touch. Relax the sense of touch. Let us move to the sense of kinesthetics. Relax the sense of kinesthetics. Relax all the senses. All the senses are relaxed, including the taste sensation. Let us now move to the mind. Let us relax all our desires. By relaxation of the desires, we mean that let us not think about any thoughts that are detrimental for the body, mind, or our actions at present or in the future for ourselves or for anyone else. Let us relax our anger by replacing it with patience. Let us replace all our inferiority, superiority complexes by developing equanimity. Let us relax all our attachments by developing dispassion, vairagya, and compassion or karuna. Let us relax all our attachments. Let us relax all our greed by replacing it with a feeling of charity. Let us replace our ego by sublimating it to Almighty. Let us think of ourselves as instruments of Almighty. Let us think of ourselves as instruments of Almighty. Now we are ready for meditation. Let us visualize the base of the spine, the center of sex glands. La merge in this vibration at the base of the spine. Inhale from the base of the spine. Bring this vibration to the point between the eyebrows, the Agya chakra corresponding to the pituitary gland. Inhale once, exhale at the point between the eyebrows. Inhale again, bring the energy at the Agya chakra. Inhale once again, bring the energy to Agya chakra. Now focus at the point 2 inches below the navel, the suprarenals or the adrenal glands. One. The energy intensifies at the Swadhisthana chakra. Inhale from this chakra, bring the energy to the point between the eyebrows, the pituitary gland. Inhale once again, bring the energy. Inhale once again. Bring the energy. The energy at the forehead is increasing. Now visualize the Manipurak chakra or the navel center or the pancreas. Ram. Energy intensifies at the navel center. Inhale from the navel center. Bring the energy to the forehead eye. Inhale once again. Bring the energy. The vibrations at the point between the eyebrows intensify. Inhale once again. Energy intensifies. Let us now focus the heart center or the Anahat chakra. Yum. The energy intensifies at the heart center. Bring the energy once again by inhalation from the heart center to the point between the eyebrows. Energy intensifies at the point between the eyebrows. Once again, inhale. Bring the energy to the point between the eyebrows. Once again, inhale. Bring the energy to the point between the eyebrows. The energy intensifies. Now visualize the throat center, Vishuddhi chakra, thyroids, parathyroids. Hum. The energy intensifies at the point, the throat center. Inhale from the throat center. Bring the energy to the point between the eyebrows. Once again, inhale. Bring the energy to the point between the eyebrows. Once again, inhale. Bring the energy to the point between the eyebrows. Now visualize the point between the eyebrows. Let us intensify the energy at the pituitary gland. Oh! Let us meditate at the point between the eyebrows. Feel the vibrations at the point between the eyebrows. You are not the body. Body is relaxed. The mind, you are not the mind. The mind is relaxed. You are not the senses. Senses are relaxed. You are this energy vibrating at the point between the eyebrows. Let us deepen our meditation. Let the observer, observed, and the observation become one and the same. Let us now complete this meditation. Spread the energy to the whole body from the head to the toes. You just think the energy will spread. By the grace of Almighty, may I enjoy excellent health, long life, lasting prosperity, insightful wisdom, total peace, complete contentment. By the grace of divine power, may my spouse enjoy excellent health, long life, lasting prosperity, insightful wisdom, total peace, complete contentment. May, by the grace of Almighty, my children, siblings, my family members enjoy excellent health, long life, lasting prosperity, insightful wisdom, total peace, complete contentment. By the grace of Almighty, may my friends enjoy excellent health, long life, lasting prosperity, insightful wisdom, total peace, complete contentment. By the grace of Almighty, may if there is any enemy or miscreant, that person may also enjoy excellent health, long life, lasting prosperity, insightful wisdom, total peace, complete contentment. By the grace of divine power, all my employers, employees, colleagues may enjoy excellent health, long life, lasting prosperity, insightful wisdom, total peace, complete contentment. By the grace of divine power, all the people in my state, country, and the world may enjoy excellent health, long life, lasting prosperity, insightful wisdom, total peace, complete contentment. The whole universe may be blessed. The whole universe may be blessed. Let there be complete bliss and happiness all over. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So, with that, we conclude our meditation. So, now I would like to ask you for your experience of this quick meditation session. So, who would like to share their experience? Anybody?
Hello.
Hello, Anita.
Hi. I found it deeply aligning. And even though I'm sitting and on a train right now, quite a bit of unwinding in the spine, throughout the spine. And it just felt very relaxing and aligning. Thank you.
Yeah, Anita, you raise a very good point. Meditation is not going to a hermitage and meditating in that way. We can practice meditation while we are performing our day to day activities. Meditation is basically a wide awake experience where we go in the subtle wavelengths of our own mind. So, you have very rightly pointed that out. Any other experience anyone else would like to share?
Hello, this is Manju.
Hello, Manju.
Thank you, Manuji, for this meditation. I have done Kundalini meditation before. This is different, and I like this version better um, because it was more tangible for me. Because it came to mm, the pineal gland center instead of going to the crown chakra.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
yeah. So, and then your last step of dissipating that energy all over the body was really good. I was confused about something though. You said inhale into each of the chakras, right?
Inhale from the
Oh,
chakra
inhale from. Okay, inhale from to the
to the
uh,
Agya chakra or the point between the eyebrows.
point between. Yes.
Exhale at the point between the
Okay.
eyebrows.
Okay, so I did it right, but I wasn't sure. And the last thing is, I would love to get the prayer that a copy of the prayer that you did. It was awesome.
Thank you, Manjuji. I think you raised some very good points that this meditation, the blessings that we give are very important. It is of paramount importance that we bless all the people in our circle. And I think it is also very important to bless if we feel that somebody is our enemy. I have seen the wonder of blessings that even your enemies will turn out to be your friends. So it is very important that in our thoughts, words, and deeds, we try to bless people rather than curse them. If somebody is our enemy, it is because of some past karma, and we should not blame the messenger for that. Instead, we should look it up like a thing for our self correction and self improvement. So that is a very important thing in these blessings.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's one of the things that I loved about. I mean, I loved the whole prayer. Um, that's one of the things I really liked. And in the past, I've tried this for 21 days, right? Praying for whoever who, whose energy is not matching us and is impacting us.
right,
Um, and it definitely does work because it takes a charge away from my mind, at least.
yeah,
Yeah.
very important. Thank you,
Thank you.
Manju.
Hmm.
Anyone else?
Doctor, this is Swati. Uh,
Hello,
I
Swati.
actually, yeah. So um, I'm actually at the gym right now, but then I actually still attended this meditation, and it still helped me a lot. I'm actually very surprised that it actually made me feel more energetic during my workout session. Like I'm still working out, but I was just listening, and it still made a huge impact. So thank you for mentioning that this can be done even with some activity that you're doing. It doesn't have to be done while you're seated, just, focusing on one thing. I was actually multitasking, but it still worked. It's making my mind peaceful. And I also love the prayer you did at the end. I mean, during the meditation, actually, I got interrupted because my son called me, so I couldn't attend the entire meditation without interruption. But then I was able to listen to the prayer at the end, and I actually found that very, very beautiful. I mean, I would also like to have a copy of that, written prayer if possible.
Thank you, Swati. So, a couple of things. One is meditation is wide awake sleep. So, you are kind of in a sleep state, but you are wide awake. That is the definition of meditation, which you rightly pointed out. And you can do this practice, with practice, you can perform various activities and be at those subtler wavelengths. It all requires practice. And this is
Yes.
a self-help method. It doesn't require any teacher on a pedestal who's guiding you. It is your own inner energy which you are tapping. So that is the scientific part of it. It does not require you to be subservient to somebody, and I'll explain that in my the theory discussion. So that is the kind of the beauty of this particular methodology. Any
Got
other,
it.
any other?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just one quick thing. I know that this call is being recorded, but is it possible to get a copy of just the meditation and the prayer part in
Sure,
audio?
sure. I can work with Sunil ji on that.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Any other thoughts or experiences anybody would like to share? Okay, so we can have some questions later on. So let us start with the theory part, like what this basically yoga and Kundalini meditation is all about. So here I've taken the definition from Oxford Dictionary of what yoga is. So according to that definition, it says it's a Hindu theistic philosophy. By theistic, we mean that you believe in some higher power. So it is basically kind of for an uninitiated mind, it can be confusing that it has got something to do with religion, because Hindu is a word that the Britishers used, and it is basically there is no religion like Hinduism, you know, so it confuses people. And this was basically originating from the early settlers around the river Saraswati, or which is sometimes referred as Indus. And you need not believe in any higher power if you don't want to believe in higher power. So that is one scientific aspect of yoga. The second is that the definition says suppression of all activity. So it is not suppression, but it is the optimization of the body, mind, and energy to attain full human potential. We do not want to suppress the potential of human being. We want to augment it. That is the purpose of yoga. What all I have achieved is because of yoga. I applied it to health sciences, and I achieved. Sunil ji was mentioning some of my achievements. All that is possible. I am an instrument of Almighty. Nothing I have done that I deserve on my own, but it is all because of my linkage with the Almighty. So I am an instrument of the Almighty, and that is what anyone can achieve through that particular linkage. So that is it activates the mind. That is the purpose of yoga. That is the beauty of yoga. It is not suppression as is misunderstood in the West. And it is not separation of self from the body and mind, but an integration of the body, mind, and inner energy. Yoga means union, which in mathematical terms means addition. So it adds body, mind, and energy. So if you look at a physiological paradigm, I was initially in the medical school, so I learned all about human physiology. So yoga is a method of establishing union between cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, what we call as homeostasis. But the body has its limitations. All of us are born, we grow, we die. So we should look at body as a faucet which has leaks in it. So a body can never be perfect. So if somebody says that by yoga you will have a perfect body for the whole life, like some people like Baba Ramdev and all, they claim we can cure diseases and all those things. So that is just for commercialization and money making and fame making that they make those claims. So there will always be some issues with the body, but you can still attain homeostasis, or you can still be comfortable with your body. So that is one of the aims of yoga. In psychological paradigm, we talk about the various layers of the mind, the subconscious, the conscious, the unconscious, and superconscious. So if you look at it from that psychological paradigm, it establishes that equilibrium. And I have developed a theory called the multi-theory model of health behavior change, which I am still working. I will be on sabbatical and I will be improving that theory. And that is a very successful theory. So right from psychoanalytical theory of Sigmund Freud all the way to these fourth generation theories, like the multi-theory model of health behavior change, we have seen those kind of improvements. So you can look at yoga as a means of establishing harmony or equilibrium between those paradigms. And from a philosophical paradigm where you look at it as body, mind, and inner energy, inner energy in science we call as factor X. We do not know because the body dies, the mind dies, and the inner energy is the one that we it's still like body. You may be sleeping in deep sleep, still you are able to perform, so that inner energy operates. And if you go in the universal paradigm where you are looking at quantum physics, interactive human agency, all those things, so it is the cosmic harmony of the body, mind, inner energy with the cosmos, with the universal harmony. That is the purpose of yoga.
Manoj, this is Manju. May I ask a question?
Sure.
So, in your meditation, the crown chakra was not included. Um, just
Yeah,
trying to understand.
that is an advanced practice, and if you practice, I can introduce you to the crown chakra, and I'm coming to that in a short while. Okay. And
Okay.
there is also a meditation beyond the body, beyond the crown chakra, also in Kundalini practice. And for more advanced practitioners, I can introduce that as well. Okay.
So, can we get
So,
a little bit of idea
yeah,
today?
I'm giving that idea. I will be giving that idea shortly in my slides.
Thank you.
So traditionally, the Patanjali's the first written record is by Patanjali, which is 200 years before Christ. According to that, yoga is divided into 8 steps: Bahirmukhi yoga, or the outward yoga, and Antarmukhi yoga. So Bahirmukhi yoga is the Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, and Antarmukhi yoga is the Pratihar, Dharan, Dhyan, Samadhi. In Kundalini yoga, we straight away start with dhyan or meditation, and with the hope that dharan, pratihar, pranayam, asan, niyam, yam will automatically follow in our life. So that is the whole premise of Kundalini Yoga. So in Yam and Niyam, Yam is the social discipline. So if you can practice these things like non-injury, avoiding deliberate harm to self or others, like I mentioned in my meditation directions, so that ahimsa is very important. Aparigraha, or optimization, strict limits on arbitrary wants. Asteya, or non-stealing, non-desiring what another one possesses. Brahmacharya, or sensory control. Satya, or truth. So these are 5 yamas. If you can practice these, the honesty in thoughts, words, and actions, then your practice will improve by leaps and bounds. But automatically, these things will come in your life sooner or later if you practice meditation. And niyama, or the self observances, shocham, or cleanliness, both inner and outer purification, santosh, or contentment, tapas, or self discipline for continuous purification, swadhyay, or self study, examining the true nature of self, ishwar pranidhan, or surrender to the higher power. So these are the 5 yamas, 5 niyamas, very similar to the 10 commandments. If somebody is a Christian, then these are like the 10 commandments, or in other religions also, these are similar teachings are there. So the asana and pranayam, some people think that yoga is about turning your body into a pretzel. And the more asanas you can perform, the better yogi you are. But that is a misconception. There are more than 840,000 potential postures that the body can assume. So it is impossible to perfect those in a lifetime. So you can judiciously select a few to keep your body in harmony. And I have developed some videos in this regard also that I can share with you. And then pranayama is the energy maximization. So if you develop some breathing exercises, they can help you also in the process. And then this is the inward ascent from pratihar, or abstraction, withdrawal of senses from the objects, like what we did in our meditation practice today, to dharan, or concentration on various points in the body, to ultimate dhyan. And this is reflected in this scientific paradigm. Right now, we are in the beta wave. When I'm talking to you, I am in beta wavelength. But with practice, you can talk, you can walk, you can do various activities, and still be on subtler wavelengths. So the next step is the alpha. When we sleep, we go through this. Beta is the REM phase of sleep, rapid eye movement, in which we dream. And then the non-REM phase starts, non-rapid eye movement, alpha wave, theta wave 4 to 7 hertz, and then delta waves less than 1 hertz, or 1 cycle per second. And in an 8 hour sleep at night, we probably get the delta wavelength about 45 seconds to maximum 2 minutes. That's all. And if someday we do not get the delta wavelength, we will feel that next day that we are not rested, we are very tired, we are very fatigued. You can experience that if you have had a disturbed sleep and you don't get the delta wavelength, you will be very troubled the next day. So, meditation is basically wakeful sleeping. So, by practice, we bring our wavelength from that beta wavelength to delta wavelength by practice. And it is all self practice. So, that is the purpose. And then ultimately, with the lot of practice and with the bliss of Almighty, with the grace of Almighty, that is what my personal belief is, that delta, that omega wavelength does not come, or what we call in yoga as nirvikalp samadhi or sahaj avastha or the jivan mukt, in which all the karmas are burnt and you are in a state of liberation. So that is only possible with the grace of Almighty. You can try meditation, and with your effort, with your personal effort, you can reach delta wavelength. You can sustain delta wavelength or savikalp samadhi for a certain duration of time. But that nirvikalp samadhi comes with the grace of Almighty. That is my personal belief. You can practice and you can reach nirvikalp samadhi, and that is your experience. That is definitely possible. And then this is the middleman problem, because there are a lot of people who believe in gurus and these middlemen. They are purely motivated by their charisma, and these middlemen they exploit. We hear about various teachers exploiting their disciples and so on. So that is why I have developed a scientific paradigm of Kundalini Energy Yoga. You learn from those teachers. There is nothing harm in learning, but ultimate guru resides within you. Kabir Das famous doha is Guru Gobind do khade kake lagu paye balihari guru aapne Govind diyo milaye. So in this the operative word is aapne. Balihari Guru Aapne, within your own self. If you look at the life of Kabir Das, it is he had no physical guru. He went to Haridas or whosoever, and that person was a Brahmin, and he shunned him and took the bath, and said Hare Ram, and he just meditated on Hare Ram, and attained all the knowledge. He continued as a weaver, but he attained all the knowledge by focusing on the inner self. So that is the whole thing. And there are different schools of yoga. Kriya Yoga is one of those schools by the renowned Yoganand Paramahans, who has written, and his teachers, the Babaji and all the renowned teachers. Very respectful teachers, very respectful school of yoga. And Raj Yoga, Swami Vivekananda's system, Transcendental Meditation by Mahesh Yogi, mindfulness, they have taken it in the West, John Kabat-Zinn. So all these are established systems. You can practice any one of these meditations and attain the same result. But don't get caught up in the charisma of the teacher, of the physical form. And philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti has said that truth is a pathless land. Group dogma often limits personal realization. So that is very important to keep in mind. So the key paradigm that I advocate is a self-help approach. It is like the generic open source techniques. So you can take from all systems of yoga. You are transparent in your approach. There is no pedestal, and it is universally compatible. It can be compatible with any existing religion or lifestyle. If you are a Hindu, so-called Hindu, it is compatible with that. If you're a Christian, it is compatible with that. If you're a Muslim, it's compatible with that. If it is you are a vegetarian, it is compatible with that. If you're a non-vegetarian, it is compatible with that. So it does not have any kind of hard and fast rule. So, in the lifestyle balance, so yoga and the main purpose of yoga is dedicating our remaining time to the pursuit of yoga goal and selfless service to humanity. In terms of conditioning, diet, moderate vegetarian diet utilizing sun foods and ground-grown produce and avoiding intoxicants. That is what is my personal experience and my personal recommendation. But if you want, you can experiment with other lifestyles. I look upon yoga practitioners as experimenting practitioners. Whatever you experiment, you find good results, you follow. Whatever bad results you find, you delete those from your lifestyle. And recovery, 7 to 8 hours of nighttime sleep is very important. For more advanced practitioners, the sleep will automatically decrease. So nothing to worry about that. But you should practice 7 to 8 hours of sleep, rest. And you can practice active relaxation. Like in my meditation, I initially employed progressive muscle relaxation. The whole session for progressive muscle relaxation is 45 minutes to an hour if you want to practice it more with the in detail. Like that biofeedback is there, visual imagery is there, autogenic training is there. I've written about it. I can share more details on these also. And then your action or your career is also very important, which is 7 to 8 hours of dedicated daily career work. Not more than that, not less than that. So you for societal engagement is required. Withdrawal is discouraged. Some people say for a yogi, you should go into a forest area and practice in a hermitage. That is not required in modern practice. And then these are the chakras that I talked about. So Mooladhara chakra, the sex glands from which we started. We went to Swadhisthana chakra, 2 inches below the navel point, the adrenal or the suprarenal glands. The Manipurak chakra, the pancreas, the navel center. The Anahat chakra, thymus gland or the heart center. Vishuddhi chakra, thyroids and parathyroids. The Agya chakra, the pituitary gland. And we stopped there. And Manjuji was asking about the Sahasradhara chakra, which is the hypothalamus. And you can also focus on the hypothalamus because in scientific literature, we know the HPA axis, hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. So hypothalamus controls pituitary gland controls all the lower glands. So that is the scientific rationale that we focus on pituitary and hypothalamus to control. And then Manjuji was asking also about more deeper meditations. So the human mind consists, hypothalamus is the older part of the brain, the midbrain. But human beings are endowed, our dogs are endowed with only part till the midbrain, you know. Fortunately, they are not endowed with cerebral cortex. So cerebral cortex is the one that is the main thinking part. So thinking part of the brain is the cerebral cortex. So we can meditate on cerebral cortex also. We can meditate on cerebellum also, which is all the storehouse of past karmas. So those meditations also we can practice on cerebral cortex and cerebellum. But we don't want to practice them early on. Because if you start practicing on cerebral cortex without developing the foundational meditation, then you can run into potential problems. So I don't want to introduce you to more advanced meditations without practicing on the lower chakras first. First, perfect your practice and then you go to the higher centers. Otherwise, you will yourself experience problems and then you will say that Manoj basically told me this and he's a bad person, right? So I don't want to get into that kind of a uh, 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 miss fame. So basically, the purpose of meditation is cleansing of the three impurities, that Jivan Mukta state, the Nirvikalp Samadhi that I talked about. So first is ego or anav. In this, basically, if we separate ourselves from the totality, we are all fractions. And if I say, I have done this, I am great, I am so and so, I have won this award, I am doing this, I am doing that, then that is ego. So, first is we have to get rid of the ego. I am an instrument of the Almighty. Constant practice in each and every action that we do, we surrender to that Almighty. I am nothing. I am nothing. Constant reminder. And then the karma. Karma is basically all the genetic karma that we have inherited. We are in the evolution. If you believe in scientific paradigm, you believe in evolution. So we have been born from our parents, from our grandparents, and like that from monkeys, from lower things, like from the first bacteria on earth. The first bacteria evolved from the earth evolved from the sun evolved from the universe. So that is in the paradigm, and ultimately that omega that I was talking about, that zero wavelength, is the static state, the primordial state. So we are all origin from that primordial zero state. So the linkage is from the present beta wavelength all the way to that zero state. So the dissipation of karma happens when that zero state guides us, when that static state, that primordial state takes over. And that is by practicing meditation and ultimately the grace of Almighty. So that is the cleansing part. So what is in our hands? In our hands is superimposition of our thoughts, words, and actions. So we should superimpose. If there is any negative action that we are performing, we should superimpose. If there is any negative thought, we should constantly superimpose that no, this is not the right action. And how will we know what is right? By our own intuition, by our own meditation, by our own practice. We are the ones who Almighty has endowed us with that mind, with that discretionary mind, what we call as will, to discriminate. That is the power of human beings, the power to discriminate. We ourselves, and that is why I said avoid intoxicants, because intoxicants basically reduce that power of discrimination, right? So, and ultimately, the illusion or Maya has to be dissipated. If you take care of the ego, you take care of the karmas, automatically the dissolution, the cleansing of the Maya will happen. And then the future, this is like we have all the yogis who can standardize all these techniques. We have the public health experts who can scale these refined interventions for masses. Medical researchers can apply these techniques in clinical bedside settings. Neuroscientists, physiologists, they can do experiments. Psychologists, behavioral experts, they can design tools. So this whole multidisciplinary approach can be fostered. And then final synthesis is death is inevitable for all and life is way too short in the universe, but yoga makes this short life meaningful. Sean Carroll, who is an astrophysicist who has conceptualized, he has also practiced yoga. And yoga is not an escape from reality, but the ultimate engagement with it. The true purpose of self realization is not solitary bliss. It transforms the practitioner into an active instrument for reducing disparities, injustice, inequity, actively engineering harmony and peace on earth. So that is what I have synthesized in my writing based on my experience. You may agree with it or you may disagree with it. Now, here is a synthesizing video.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're going on a seriously fascinating journey. We are taking a deep dive into decoding yoga, and we'll be using Manoj Sharma's comprehensive work on Kundalini Energy Yoga to guide us. Our goal with this explainer is to just strip away all the confusion and lay out the facts. We want to use clear, structured info to help us truly grasp the core of this ancient practice. To do that, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with what is yoga, really? Then we'll hit the 4 paradigms of union, the 8 steps of yoga, Kundalini Energy Yoga, and finally, the ultimate goal of self-realization. Basically, we're bridging ancient philosophy with modern scientific measurement and some highly actionable frameworks. Section 1. What is yoga, really? Separating myth from reality. Okay, let's dive right into this and examine our baseline cultural understanding of the practice. Now, if you're like most people, your understanding might start with a definition like this one from the 2018 Merriam-Webster's dictionary. It defines yoga as a Hindu theistic philosophy teaching the suppression of all activity of body, mind, and will in order that the self may realize its distinction from them and attain liberation. But here's the thing. The source material we're looking at today argues that this definition is actually quite problematic. Sharma points out that using terms like Hindu, theistic, and suppression unnecessarily confuses the uninitiated mind and misrepresents what the practice truly is. So why exactly is that definition contested? Well, if we look at it impartially, the dictionary focuses heavily on suppression, religious belief, and distinguishing the self. But Sharma's source material asserts something totally different. He argues that yoga is actually based on universal wisdom, completely free from any specific religious dogmas. Actually, instead of suppressing the mind and body, the true goal is to activate them. You want them functioning optimally to reach their full potential. And rather than separating or distinguishing the self, the ultimate goal is in fact union. And that brings us right to the actual Sanskrit root of the word, which is yog. It literally just means union. To put that into perspective, in ancient Sanskrit, this word is commonly used in mathematics. It simply denotes the sum of two numbers, or the basic function of addition. So it's really about bringing things together into a harmonious whole, not shutting them down or pushing them apart. Section 2, the 4 paradigms of union, micro to macro scaling. Let's move on and see how this concept builds from the smallest functioning parts of our biology out to the entire cosmos. Because depending on the lens you're looking through, this idea of union means something completely different but equally valid. Let's walk through this. If you're a biologist looking at the physiological paradigm, union means achieving homeostasis within your body's organ systems. Now flip to the psychological paradigm, and union means psychosomatic equilibrium, balancing your conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind. Through the philosophical paradigm, it's about achieving equanimity between your body, your mind, and your inner energy. And finally, if we zoom way out to the universal paradigm, union means bringing all of those human elements into total harmony with the all-pervading cosmic energy of the universe. Now, you might be wondering about that term inner energy from the philosophical paradigm. What is that exactly? Well, scientists sometimes refer to this as factor X. It's essentially the inner energy that drives our basal metabolism, the literal fuel that keeps your body running even when you're fast asleep. And what's absolutely fascinating here is that this energy is fundamentally identical across the board. The energy driving you and me is essentially the exact same energy driving animals, plants, and even the movement of electrons within inanimate atoms. It's the universal fuel of existence. Section 3, the 8 steps of yoga, the ancient blueprint. And this brilliantly illustrates why we need a structured framework to make sense of it all. Let's walk through this historical table. This is Patanjali's blueprint, formulated way back around 200 BC, and it divides neatly into 2 halves. First, you have outward yoga, or Bahirmukhi, which deals with social and physical actions. That includes yama, which is social discipline, niyama, or self-observances, asana, those physical postures we're so familiar with in the West, and pranayama, which is breath regulation. Then you cross over to inward yoga, or antarmukhi. This is all about inward psychic conditioning. You've got pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses, dharana, holding the mind to a single point, dhyana, deep meditation, and finally samadhi, the primordial state of superconsciousness. Let's briefly break down that very first outward step, the yamas, because they're absolutely foundational. There are 5 of them. Ahimsa translates directly to non-injury. Aparigraha means setting limits on your needs and wants. Asteya is non-stealing. Brahmacharya translates to sensual control, or not overindulging. And Satya means truth. What's so cool here is that these aren't some mystical secrets. They form the universal fundamental rules for living in harmony in any society. They're the baseline requirements for a stable community, mirrored in laws all around the globe. Now, I want to slow down for a second here, because as we move from those outward social steps all the way into the deep inward stages of dhyana and samadhi, something biologically remarkable happens. Sharma impartially maps these ancient meditation states directly to descending EEG brainwave frequencies measured by modern science. Check this out. When we're awake, our brains operate in beta waves, right? 14 to 40 cycles per second. As we calm down, we drop into alpha. Deep meditation takes us into theta at 4 to 7 cycles. But then the first state of samadhi, savikalpa samadhi, actually correlates to delta waves at less than 1 cycle per second. That's a state usually only measured in deep, dreamless sleep. And the ultimate liberation, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, maps to omega waves, literally 0 cycles per second. Complete, absolute stillness in the mind. Section 4, Kundalini Energy Yoga, or KEY, the modern practical paradigm. So the crucial point here is making this practical for our everyday lives. And to understand the philosophy behind KE, we can look to this quote by the Indian philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti. Truth is a pathless land. The source material uses this to impartially report KE's stance against modern guru culture. KE heavily emphasizes a self-help approach. It essentially argues that you don't need to put a teacher on a pedestal or rely on an intermediary to find truth. Instead, practitioners are encouraged to experiment with generic techniques themselves. It's all about self-discovery. Because it's a modern, practical framework, KE gives us some highly actionable, everyday lifestyle recommendations that perfectly align with niyama. It recommends a vegetarian diet consisting of sun foods and ground produce. You need to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night and balance that with 7 to 8 hours of work per day. It advises avoiding intoxicants entirely. And here's a massive one. You absolutely have to balance all of this with actual relaxation. That can mean doing progressive muscle relaxation or honestly, just incorporating a bit of humor and creative activities into your daily routine. Once that baseline lifestyle is set in place, KE walks you through a very specific sequential meditation progression. Step 1, simply watch your breathing. Step 2, introduce a mantra like or shanti to focus the mind. Step 3, focus on the 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, and sky. Step 4 involves focusing on the chakras. And I love how the text demystifies this esoteric term. It explicitly links the chakras directly to your body's actual physical endocrine glands, like the pancreas and thyroid. Very scientific. Finally, step 5 is human nature expansion, expanding your conscious mind towards superconsciousness. Section 5, the goal of self-realization and impacting the planet. Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is understanding the ultimate purpose behind all this physical and mental work. Reaching self-realization requires purifying what the text calls the 3 impurities. First up is anava, or ego. That means overcoming the obsession with just I and mine and realizing you aren't separate from the totality. Second is karma, which means cleansing the imprints of your past actions by intentionally superimposing good, uplifting deeds. And third is maya, or illusion. When you purify ego and karma, you naturally achieve absolute clarity and wisdom. The whole goal is to become perfectly balanced, completely unaffected by the constant push and pull of life's dualities. Which brings us to the close of this explainer and to a deeply provocative final question presented by the source material. What to do after self-realization? Is it just some mystical personal escape from reality? Well, according to Sharma's text, absolutely not. The ultimate goal isn't just about you. It's about taking that clarity and balance and working for the betterment of humankind. The text argues that if more people achieve this state, we can literally create a planet with fewer inequities, fewer injustices, and way more universal harmony. It's a pretty powerful thought to leave you with, that working on the self is ultimately the very first step in working on the world. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope this structured journey has demystified this ancient practice for you.
Wow.
And here is the empirical evidence video.
Yoga is an ancient system to develop harmony between body, mind, and environment. Kundalini Energy Yoga is a modernized, refined adaptation of this ancient practice based on the principles of self-help. It has been derived from techniques developed in India. There are 4 self-help practices in KE. Introspective meditations are reflections on one's thoughts in order to positively focus on the present instead of negatively dwell on the past or future. Taking care of the body requires vegetarian dietary habits, regular physical activity, prevention of diseases, regular balanced work, and avoiding the use of intoxicants. Relaxation includes shavasana, progressive muscle relaxation, humor, creative activities, autogenic training, self-hypnosis, biofeedback, visual imagery, and music. Sequential meditations step through watching the breathing, using a mantra such as Om, Amen, Shanti, or Santosh, focusing on the 5 elements, namely earth, water, air, fire, and sky, focusing on the six senses, namely touch, taste, hearing, smell, sight, and kinesthetic, focusing on seven chakras or endocrine glands of the body, namely sex glands, adrenals, suprarenals, pancreas, thymus, thyroid and parathyroids, pituitary, and hypothalamus, and expanding the conscious mind to superconsciousness. When all four techniques culminate and the static primordial state itself takes over, this is called absolute meditation. Key techniques have been tested empirically for wellness among healthy participants, relief of pain in osteoarthritis, reduction of anxiety, smoking cessation, stress management, finding meaning in life, personal growth, and more.
So these are my references. I recently completed a systematic review of Kundalini Yoga of all the RCTs, and that has been published in Alternative Therapies in Health and Medicine this year. This is a book on simplified Kundalini Yoga, written with my father. And this is the system to which I was introduced by Yogiraj Vedatri Maharishi, who has developed this simplified Kundalini Yoga, a renowned teacher from South India. And my work is only an extension of that. And this is a chapter that I wrote in a book called Psych Ecology, linking it with Carl Jung, Collective Unconscious. Carl Jung was a psychologist, a student of Freud. And so in this book, basically this material that you are seeing has been generated by AI, but is from this chapter that I wrote. This is the first intervention that I tested for the mind-body connection way back in 2001, which was published in International Journal of Yoga Therapy. So with that, I conclude the vision of this organization. It's a not-for-profit organization, primarily for this purpose: societal change through self-behavior change. And this is the prayer that you were talking about. By the grace of Almighty, may you all enjoy excellent health, uttam swasthya, long lives, dirgh ayu, lasting prosperity, samriddhi, insightful wisdom, pragya, total peace, shanti, and complete contentment, santosh. And this is my Facebook website. I post various videos and other things here. And this is the email. If you want to correspond, you can correspond via this. Now I open it up for questions and clarifications. We still have about 20 more minutes. So please feel free to utilize this time.
Thank you, doctor. This is so helpful. So, folks, any question, you can type it or you can unmute and or raise hand, whatever way you want to.
Manjuji, have I answered your question? Are you satisfied or you need more clarification?
You did answer question. I think I didn't quite understand the third level, which is outside of us.
So that is the universal meditation, you know. So the bodies, like I mentioned, in the evolution, the body that we have received, you know, is from our parents. And our parents have descended from the grandparents and like that, you know. So from the human beings, they evolved from monkeys. Monkeys evolved from other animals and all. If we trace the genesis, the first probably the first life form was a bacteria on this planet, and that bacteria was the first lively living organism. So prior to that, the earth was all inanimate, but that inanimate also had atoms, right? With energy. So that energy was rotating within those electrons and around the nucleus, right? So that energy was the source. And that earth emerged from sun. Sun had a burst, you know, and then all the planets were formed. So and then the sun is a star within the universe, right? So universe is there with all these multi galaxies and a huge sphere of black holes and galaxies and all that. Now, where did the universe come from? Now you have to take a leap of faith, based on the meditation that my teachers have done and I have done, that there is a primordial static state, the zero state. That is what we learn from various yoga texts and other things also. That the primordial static state is the zero state, where that is the omega state that I was talking about, where there is zero wavelength. Like, for example, I'm talking to you right now. I'm producing sound wave. Now, what is happening to that sound wave? That sound wave is dissipating. It is right now like the sound wave, I think, is about 300 cycles per second, right? And that is going subtler and subtler and subtler and subtler and eventually merging into that zero state. So everything that has happened from time immemorial is recorded in that zero state. And that zero state also lies within us because we have evolved from that zero state. So the purpose of meditation is going to that zero state. So there are various visualizations and various meditations by which you can go to that zero state. That is the Savikalp Samadhi. So that is the practice, that we work on higher wavelengths, on lower wavelengths, and then ultimately merge into subtler and subtler and subtler wavelengths. So in simplified Kundalini Yoga that my teacher propagated, that is called Turiya meditation, merging with the primordial state. Turiya is the Sahasradhara meditation in Tamil. And Turiya means going beyond the Sahasradhara stage. So that is the out of body meditation or the absolute meditation. But I cannot introduce you on the first day because it requires a lot of preparation, practice, purification before you reach that state. I can give you directions, but you will not be able to implement it without the grace of that Almighty. That is what I mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. This is very helpful. I did have one more question, if that's okay. You mentioned that a karma as linked to our parents, and I thought, but that was not my understanding. I thought that it was related to my past actions.
Okay, so there are three kinds of karmas. One is the prarabdha karma. One is the akami karma or the future karma. And one is the chalit karma or which we are performing right now. So you can look at as like genetics. In science, we call that as genetics. So we inherit all the karmas, genetics. Whatever genetics we have inherited is the past karma from our parents, from our grandparents. In our, if you look at our forefathers, there were saints also in our forefathers. There were also dacoits and robbers in our forefathers. So we inherit, like it is like a bank balance. We inherit some sort of karma by genetics. Some of them get manifested in this life. Some of them remain dormant, and they are passed on to our progeny. And like that, the life cycle continues. And then there are some karmas that we perform from the time we attain puberty all the way till as a child. We are innocent, we perform karmas based on without our innocence. So those are not really recorded. But from puberty onwards, we become more, we start exercising our will and so on. So we accumulate those karmas. And that is why the importance of superimposition. If there is something bad in our karma, we superimpose with positive, positive, positive. So that is how we get rid of those karmas that the bad karma, so-called bad karmas. All those karmas, some of them we are performing just by our genetic makeup. If suppose my father was alcoholic, and you may have read about the research of children of alcoholics, they have a tendency to become alcoholics. So that is just because of your genetics, you are doing that karma. But by superimposition, you can get rid of that karma of alcoholism. So that is the power of superimposition on your free will. And then there are akami karmas or the future karmas. So if you determine from today that I am not going to indulge in XYZ karma, then you are starting to dissipate, dissipate, dissipate. And then ultimately that dissipation may not be complete, And that is another topic, life before birth and after death, which we can discuss in some other forum.
That will be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Anita, you have a question you want to ask? She has posted here, but I thought if she wants to ask,
He was
otherwise.
in a train or
Thank
something.
you. Oh, thank you. Now it took me a second to unmute. I was just curious. Thank you again so much. This is very helpful, very clarifying. I will just share with you that I am also a physician, internal medicine, and so I'm very interested, intrigued, inspired to know how you may bridge your Kundalini yoga practice with medical practice. Do you do that? And if so, what does that look like? And again, I give you so much appreciation. Thank you.
So I am more of a researcher now. I don't practice medicine, so I do research. So like in that the last video, that animation video that I shared, we have done studies with smoking cessation. We've done with osteoarthritis. We for reducing pain in osteoarthritis. We've done studies with anxiety reduction. We've done for general wellness. We've done studies for meaning in life. So those type of studies we have done with Kundalini Energy Yoga and found it to be very useful. And I have recently synthesized a systematic review of all systems, not only my self-help approach, but all Kundalini Yoga. So I believe in all systems of yoga, not only my own system of yoga, but all systems of yoga. And I believe in experimenting practitioner. So I believe that every human being has been given the power of self-analysis. That is based on my learning. My dissertation topic was on social cognitive theory by Albert Bandura. So he talks about 5 human capabilities: self-reflection capability, self-control capability, vicarious capability, learning from others' experience, and so on. So basically, all human beings are endowed with the self-analysis capability. So we should become experimenting practitioners. We should experiment rather than reject any thought. So for your patients, you can introduce them to meditation, any meditation they like. In the West, they have commercialized it to mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, a 16-week program, and they charge a hefty sum of money for that. I am against all that commercialization. That is why all my services are free of charge. Health for All, I do consultation work, raise money on my own, and run my organization on my own without any support. So I don't want to commercialize anything. So that is the purpose of my organization, and I believe that the yoga should not be commercialized. It should not be commercialized at all. That is my firm belief. So I think you can introduce your patients to any meditation that they like to practice. If they want to practice as a self-help, then my books are available, my videos are available, and so on.
Thank you so much. I also just shared in the chat a free mindfulness based stress reduction course that we use in our BKB meditation group. And it is so important that these be widely accessible and not charged and overly commercialized. So thank you so much.
Yeah, practicing on the present is very important. If you practice, most of our worries emanate from past and future. So if you start living in the present moment, and that is why some people call it as a present or a gift. So that approach is also very helpful. Mindfulness. And in my last webinar, I touched upon that mindfulness, as a way of stress reduction. So that mindfulness is a very powerful meditation in itself. If you want to practice that, all power to you. So there is no one technique that is can be said as the best. Like in my presentation, I quoted Jiddu Krishnamurti. Truth is a pathless land. So you can practice any technique, and ultimately you will reach the same destination. The destination is the same. You can practice it by different routes.
Right. As we say, right, in Rigved also, ekam sat
Absolutely.
vipra bahuda vadanti.
Absolutely.
Different paths lead to the same destination.
Same destination. Yeah. So no path is superior or inferior. It is up to your temperament, your personality, your liking. You can choose.
Sure. Great. Any other question, guys? Also, folks, please give your feedback, because that's what
Yeah.
doctor is
And
not
like I
charging
was
any money, but
mentioning,
he definitely wants to know if really helpful, or even if you want something
yeah, like I
feedback.
was mentioning earlier, that I have written a book on introspective meditations. So that is a 30 chapter book. So I can have similar webinars on all those 30 introspective meditations. Introspection is very important for purification. So we can have introspective meditations, every month I can conduct one webinar for you so that there is variety in it. And we can also have webinars on various relaxation techniques, on other stress management techniques. I introduced you to some techniques of stress management, or any other topic that you want. You can send me an email. You can let Sunil ji know, we can work on around those topics. If it is beyond my expertise, if it is not within my expertise, then of course I cannot do that. But I have limitations of my knowledge, so I can share what I know.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, sure. We also generally do polling and see what people are
Yeah.
interested. So once
Yeah.
we come to know about what things you are offering, probably I will have internal share and see what is more suitable for most of the people or interest. Looks like everything is good. So, but we'll see if, I mean, which one to go next.
Sure. Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
Prabhat ji wanted to say something. I'm sorry
Yeah,
I
yeah.
interrupted him.
No problem. So I think one thing I wanted to ask is Patanjali has established like Baharmukhi and Antarmukhi, right? Like Yama, Niyama, all the way till Samadhi. I was thinking that to like any advanced practices, it is important to go through those all 8 steps, right? Because it's important to establish the body stability first before going
Absolutely.
over mind and energy. But I think
Absolutely.
Kundalini, you touched upon starting from, the Dhyana and Samadhi.
Yeah.
So I think are there some precautions that people have to take when they do these advanced practices where to make sure that they're established well within themselves in terms of stability before they're taking up this the energy high energy practices.
Yeah, there are a lot of myth associated with Kundalini Energy Yoga, especially like a book by Pandit Gopi Krishna, who wrote that my body developed this and that and blah, blah, blah. It is in a scientific paradigm, if you do it everything in moderation is what is important. If you sit down and meditate throughout the day, on day one, you say, I'm going to be a meditator, I'm going to be a yogi for 24 hours. That is why I just led the session for 20-25 minutes. That's it. On day one, if you can practice for 20 minutes, that is more than adequate. If before going to bed, if you can just do the chakra meditation, that will streamline your sleep. That is why I emphasized 8 hours of sleep. That is why I emphasized 8 hours of work, productive work. If you're retired, you can do voluntary work. So that is why I emphasized a diet, balanced diet, healthy diet. That is why I emphasized keeping regular physical activity. That is why I emphasized not taking intoxicants. So all those precautions are there. If you don't do that balance, if you don't follow the middle path, then you will definitely destroy yourself. That is why I started with blessing your own self. That is why I started with blessing everyone in your circle. All those things you have to practice. You cannot just say that you will not do this or that. You will just do the chakra meditation day in and day out. That you are
Yeah.
calling for trouble. And
I think that is a very important point
yeah,
because I
right.
think, it's not just in isolation. All
Yeah,
those things will
all
add up.
those things have to be followed, and that automatically your system will start following those things if if you're a sincere practitioner. That is why I said always treat yourself as an instrument of Almighty. Don't develop ego. Don't say I am great. I have done this. I have done that. It is you as an instrument of Almighty has achieved all that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I
So I
think,
think, thank you. I think, Sunil, what we should do is once we have a list of topics, let's
Sure.
see,
yeah.
rate it based on like what is needed most at this point, and then.
Yeah.
And you can send me the recordings of these webinars so I can revisit them. And if there are some points that I may have missed or anything, I can clarify in the next webinar.
Yeah.
So I would request you to kindly send me these webinar recordings so I can look over.
Sure.
And if some topic has not been answered properly, I can reflect on that and once again give a proper explanation. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Doc. I could not send you that last recording, Prabhat. We have recorded, put it on a link, right?
Yeah.
Google Doc. But I could not find him. He wanted to see so that he can himself see what best can be done. So I do we have that recording, right? I only created, but
It was your link, no? Zoom link.
yeah. So let me check again. I mean, I
Yeah,
will.
check. Otherwise, we have to check in that WhatsApp channel if you posted there.
Yeah, I will look it. But today I have recorded two ways, so we'll definitely have this recording and I'll share with everybody because those who didn't join may also be find it helpful once I share with them. And Dr. Manoj Sharma, I'll share with you for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. You can call me Manoj. There is no need to call me Dr. Manoj Sharma.
Okay, sure.
Manoj is a better name. My
Yeah, no,
parents
in US we do that all the
my
time with the first
parents
name.
named me, and I appreciate why they named me Manoj. Man means mind, and Ojas means energy. So mind energy. So that
Wow.
is very good for me. You know. So
Sure. By the way, there are some people have before they left or they are still there, they have given good feedback. So that is very, very important to understand that if people are connecting with this, I'm sure they will. I'm very much blessed to have this, and really it was very helpful. But others are also giving similar feedback, so that helps us to guide what to do next.
and I think Sunilji located me through India Currents. In India Currents, every month I write a column on health, a question and answer session on various health topics. This month I have written on cataract surgery. So you can also read those things, and I also write on contemporary topics in another channel called Indica News. So
Yes, I know Ritu Jha and all.
yeah,
So basically, why it caught my attention was you have written on loneliness, so
yeah.
and stress management. So I said you are the person I should at least engage with, and that's how we started communicating and
Yeah, no, that
become
is
friends.
all Almighty's link, I think Almighty is helping us propagate the message
Yeah.
via messengers.
I think big thanks to Sunil also for connecting you to
Oh,
us.
absolutely.
Again, he
Thanks to
just
all
asked
of you
the
for
Almighty.
participating. Thanks to all of you for participating because I know taking time from a busy schedule to
Yes, that's
attend
very
a
true.
webinar.
Sunday they are all busy, but still they made it. Those who are really, and they stayed almost till until recent. So
Yeah.
that 25 to 30 people joined. So that's great.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thank you.
all. Appreciate it.
Thank
God
you.
bless.